Hi and good morning, everybody. It is Thursday morning. I found two large estate sales. They're both in old farmhouses, so I'm hoping we could find some good stuff today. Let's go check them out. All right, well, when I did arrive, I was a little bit late, but to start off, this is Kingsley pattern by Lennox, which is really attractive, but the plates and things don't go for very much. Some of the servingware does, though. This is probably about $50, $60 for that gravy boat with the attached underplate. And now I'm just kind of doing a quick scan around to see what's still left behind. They had a little bit of flow blue over here for $40 for the pair, which was pretty retail. And this is a giant chunk of glass for $45. I don't know much about that. That cut to clear bowl in the back, very pretty, but $45 on that. 20 on this bunny. So these things are all pretty much at retail. This I think is Hager. If anybody knows for sure, that would be great. I wish I grabbed it. It was only $18, but I wound up leaving it behind like an idiot. This is why I came to the sale, because I saw in the pictures they had some great mid-century lamps. Those were each $85, so that was a little rich for me. And then this is a Japanese lacquer set by, Bembo. Very pretty, about $25 on that. So again, that's pretty much retail. Yellow Fiesta ware pitcher, $20 on that as well. And that's about what they list and sell for on eBay. And then I came across, this is a Hager shell planter. This one had $18 on it. They probably go for between $15 and $20. It was in good condition, so it was just nice to take a look at it. Up in their bedroom, they had two more mid-century lamps. These were $125 a piece. And then they had this cool butler's pantry, and in there I found this paper mache Mexican folk art bird. Unfortunately, the beak on it had been broken, so I decided not to mess with it. And then this is a bit of brush McCoy. What is this? Their basket weave pattern. Let me see. Morning Glory willow basket weave. And then over here, this was a Moroccan style. I thought it was a candle holder, but I looked at it closer. There was a hole for a cord. And then a nice $20 uranium glass vase, or at least I thought it was uranium glass. I didn't want to pull it out just yet because I had a couple things in my hand and I want to keep looking around. And then I saw this. I don't know who it's by. I just thought it was a pretty little piece of vintage pottery there with the bird on it. I don't know why I got attracted to birds at garage sales. Came across this. This is some Waterford Lismore. They only had $10 on this, which seemed pretty reasonable considering the prices on some of the other things that I did think were a bit overpriced. But that left a little room for making a couple bucks, and you can see the Waterford mark. And then this is while I was standing online. This reminds me of Bauer pottery, but I looked underneath. There was no marking, so I'm not actually sure. Kind of had a base that reminded me a little bit of Hager. If anybody out there recognizes this as well, that would be really cool. But again, I thought that was Bauer. And then just again, standing online, they had these nice urn vases on the mantle. And while I was standing online, I saw this on a little side table. So I squeezed through the room and was able to grab it. And it is Blanco, so that was pretty cool. And then, again, I'm just kind of looking at stuff while I'm waiting to pay. This is just one of those cut crystal baskets. And they go for between $25 and $50, but there's loads listed. This is a gorgeous gilt mirror they had over their fireplace. And now we're over at Thrifty Shopper. This is an acorn ashtray. I've seen these attributed as a hobby piece and also to Rocky Mountain pottery, so I'm not sure, but there's tons of them listed. This thing was cool. I'm not actually sure what its original purpose was, but I kind of wanted to buy it for my house and find some sort of use for it. It just was a really neat, interesting piece. And then these were cool. These are like so 80s. As soon as I saw them, like a lot of memories went flashing through my head of different school supplies and things because that graph pattern was so common. It just was very nostalgic for me. And then this McCoy Ewer pitcher. It was in decent shape, actually. It's dirty, so it was a little deceiving at first. I thought it might be broken, but they had $3 on it, so I did wind up grabbing that one. I do like McCoy, and I do love this color. So I looked at it one more time just to make sure there were no cracks. And then these are some chalkware kind of fruit hanging plaque things. I think you could buy this as a hobbyist piece, but you could also buy them finished in the store. These unfortunately had a decent amount of chipping on them, so I decided to leave those behind. I think I would have grabbed them though if they were in better condition. And then up on the top shelf here, I did find a little confetti art glass bud vase. Nothing too special, but still a pretty little piece of glass for $3. I didn't want to leave it behind. A tidbit tray. Attractive. This is by Royal China. They had $5 on it. Could have probably made a couple bucks, but it had a decent chip in the rim there. And then this is a Scandinavian wall plaque. And these usually have some sort of saying on them. I'm not sure what this one says about like home or love and life, that kind of thing. They're from the 1960s. And then this Rogers and Smith silver plate pedestal dish. I think there's probably a centerpiece there that was no longer included. You can see the mark there on the back for Rogers and Smith. The handle on it was broken. I actually put it down, walked away, and then came back again and grabbed it. And here is another one of those Hager shell bowls. And again, they go for like 15 to 20 bucks. This one had $5 on it. It's in good condition, which was nice, but not a lot of room to make money there. And then these geese, I really felt for them. Somebody really put a lot of flowers on them, like kind of just like the way the first ones looked, and then kind of went a little bit overboard with it. And I felt like as I progressed, they were getting to have more and more stuff on them. And they were all $4 a piece. And then I get over this guy and he's like literally on the ground, like, no more flowers. I can't, you put one in my mouth. No more flowers. I'm not sure who the birds are actually by, but that was a lot of fake flowers glued onto there. And then this is a Jim Beam marlin fish bottle. It was missing its head, though, unfortunately. So that was kind of a bummer. I did look around on the shelves, and I didn't find it anywhere. They don't have a huge resale value, but they're still a fun piece. And then these are I've talked about these before. This is Tartan by Anchor Hocking, and I'm kind of a sucker for this pattern. They were priced a little too high for me to make any money on. But if I ever do build a home bar, I will probably incorporate some of that pattern. I like the green ones. And this, to me, looked like a crystal bicycle seat or EAPG kind of bicycle seat. People had it listed as a nut dish. I'm not really sure. If anybody recognizes what that shape is actually intended for, that'd be cool. And I like this plate actually for my own house. So yeah, I got a speeding ticket on the way to a garage sale the other day. Yeah, and I actually noticed how fast I was going just a split second before I saw the cop. But he got me. I got my ticket. I was going 77 to 55. And I'm not going to plead not guilty. I'm going to pay my fine. I'm going to get my points on my license. I screwed up. I'll pay the penalty. But man, it made me late to a really good sale. And all the stuff, I had actually made a list of what I wanted at that sale. It was all gone when I got there. I went to 2 garage sales and the thrift store afterwards. And I got a good handful of stuff this time. Hopefully it's enough to cover my ticket. But let me show you what I got. The first one I went to was in a big old farmhouse, and they had tons of great stuff in there, but they were a little bit on the pricey side. They were kind of more towards retail, and I wasn't going to try to afford retail. So what I wound up getting, though, was this is the Waterford Overture pattern. It's just a little bud vase, and this they had for $8, and it's about a $30 vase, and it does seem to be a somewhat desirable pattern. I did look it up quick while I was there to make sure it had resale value. And then the other thing I found at that sale was a nice twisted wood walking stick. It's not a full cane, it's a walking stick. It's actually pretty sweet. So I don't know much about it. I actually don't even know how old it is. I paid $30 for it. I would imagine I can at least get like 40 or 50 bucks. But I wanted to grab it just to research the subject area and hopefully just make a couple of bucks on it in the process. So that was all I got at the first sale. The second sale I went to was definitely a little better, and they started later, so getting impacted by being pulled over didn't hurt me so much going to the second sale because I only got there a couple minutes after they started. The first sale I wound up being like a half hour late to, and they had a sign-up sheet that started at 7 in the morning, which I wasn't doing. Again, I found more Waterford at the second sale. This is Listmore. This is actually a champagne or wine bottle coaster. I thought it might be a nut dish, but when I looked it up, it's actually meant to put a bottle of champagne or wine in just to keep things from getting on the table, I guess. If you have that fancy of a life, you need a champagne coaster. They had these beautiful red candlesticks. Oh, first sale, I spent $32. And I'll be listing this for $30. So even if I only make $2 on this, I will have got my, $42. If I list this for $12 or get $12 on it, I will have made my money back. I can talk today, not a problem. So second sale, got there a couple minutes late, but still found some really nice stuff. They had these beautiful Mosser red selenium glass candlesticks. So these actually glow under UV light, and you'll see that in the eBay listing. I'll put a UV picture in there so you can see it. But boy, it's really pretty under UV light. I did look. They had a green glass apple. I saw it from across the room, and I was like, maybe. But when I got over to it, it did have the Blanco sticker on it. This is from the 80s or the 90s. That's when they used this sticker. It's got the little red dot in it there, just to help you identify. You can look online. You can see the different stickers that they used over the decades to kind of get your bearings. I also found this paperweight. So this actually has some latticino in it. It doesn't have any caning, but it does have some twisted ribbon. Nice size paperweight, and this was only a few dollars actually. And then it's not marked on the bottom, but it is smooth. So I'm not sure who it's by. When I looked it up, people were referring to these as scramble. So it's just kind of a mishmash of the ribbons and the latticino in there. I did see that there were some made by Baccarat and some made by Murano, but I'm going to list this as unknown because I'm not sure. And then I found this. This is a Moroccan style. This is actually a lamp. I thought it was a candlestick holder at first, but there is a spot up in the top to set a socket in there. And then down in the base here, there is a hole for the cord to come out. So that's actually a nice lamp base. And at this sale, so I feel like my total probably should have been around $150. And when the woman rung me up, she said it was $57. And I did question her on it. And she very sternly went back over my receipt with me. And so as to not offend her math confidence, I decided to go with it. I actually came back to the sale again just to make sure nobody wanted to try and catch me and say, oh, we made a mistake. But I questioned it. It should have been more. But what do you do? And again, she had a huge line of people behind me, so I wasn't going to sit there and haggle that it should be more money. I questioned it. She went over it with me, and she said that's what my total was. Unless I missed out on something, but I didn't feel right about it. But at the same time, I did try to remedy it twice. I don't know. So at this sale, I wound up spending $57. The other thing I found, this was in a bathroom upstairs. It was in a big old farmhouse. And this was sitting on a radiator in front of the bathroom window with this big poofy bouquet of flowers. And I couldn't actually see the top of it because it was hanging down over the edge. I just saw the bottom. And in the window light, it actually looked like blue glass. But once I took the flowers out, I was like, maybe that's uranium. So I grabbed this. It didn't even have a price on it when I grabbed it. So I was a little nervous what they were going to tell me this was. But when I looked at the receipt, it was on there for, I think, $10. And then this is the other thing I found. This is beautiful. This is also uranium, and I don't know who this is by. My guess was maybe Cambridge or possibly Glastonbury Lotus. It has this beautiful detailed band up around the top there. Let me get a little closer. This table is like not really conducive to reaching the camera, I'll be honest. And then it's got the flowers on there. And then the other thing I found was another paperweight. I think that's it. Oh, and we got a couple of things from the thrift store. So this is like a slumped glass pen holder paperweight. But I don't know who out there is a Harry Potter fan. I mean, who isn't? Hello. So perfect for some wand display. Okay, look at that. And then it just sits so nice. So maybe I could use the wand. I'll use the Death Eater wand. That makes more sense to get rid of my speeding ticket. That would be cool. But nope, it's still here. Didn't work. Must not be the magic I have. And then at the thrift store, I picked up this silver plate pedestal. This is Rogers & Smith. has a handle on top. But there is a piece on it that is broken. I'm going to try to mend it. I don't know that it'll work that well. And then obviously I'll have to sell it as is, but this should be on top like so. And this was $4.99. I found a mid-century McCoy Ewer pitcher. I think this had what? $2.99 on it. It looked cracked at first. Every time I see this blue powder, I'm like, oh, it's cracked. I know it's cracked. But it's not. It's just like super dirty. So that'll probably go up for about 15 bucks. Not a huge profit there. I found this little art glass bud vase up on the top shelf. That's also $2.99, or it's like a confetti glass almost. It's green with the white splotches in it and the ruffled rim on top. Probably 20 bucks, something like that. I don't know. I'll have to double check myself. So to go over, at the thrift store, I spent, I think it was what, $12, $14. And like I said, I'll list this for 15. So at least from the thrift store, I'll be up $1. That should go towards the ticket. The first sale, like I said, I'll probably put this up for like 40 bucks or something like that. And then this for 30. And again, I got this for 12 and 30. So the first sale was $42. The second sale was $57. The uranium alone covers it, to be honest with you. I've already got this up at $200. I believe this is Fostoria. And I don't know if there's actually a pattern name for it other than green, but if somebody else recognizes it, it's got this beautiful drape waterfall kind of swag pattern to it. And under the black light is so pretty. So that's $200 right there. This one, I gotta be honest with you, it's not a big vase, but it is kind of special with this banding around the top, and it glows beautifully. So I did put this up at 100 bucks. Just best offer as well. Everything I have is always, or best offer. I'm willing to work with people. I know things can get pricey, but I have also undersold myself a lot of times, so I don't want to do that either. The Blanco apple, I think this had a price tag of like 15 on it, but I put it up at 38. These, I think I put up at like 55 or maybe 60. I'm not sure. Again, best offer. This one, I think I put this up at 60 and somebody offered me 15 for it. But I've seen them up there for 80 and above and selling between like 40 and 65. So I put it up with best offer. I do try to go in the range of what things are selling at because it's pointless to put it up any more than that. However, sometimes there are pieces that are a little more special. So I will price them just like almost experimentally to see if, it's of that much value to somebody. And then obviously when no one buys it, like all merchants, you lower your prices. But for starters, that's where we're at. And then this paperweight, probably 25 bucks. Sorry, wand holder. It's actually a good day to watch Harry Potter. I love watching Harry Potters on like cloudy, like moody weather days, and the rain's supposed to come in later. And that's pretty much it. So let me know in the comments what you guys want to see next time. I'm gonna hit the thrift store again, but I was thinking about putting together a video about how I clean glassware, between getting some of the water scale out of it, getting into fine neck pieces like this, how to get something in there to scrub them, and some of the abrasives I use. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see something like that, or if you just want me to stick to my regular thrifting videos. I was going to have Nessie in the video today, but she's being a bit of a flibbity bit, and I didn't want her to bump into the table trying to reach over her the thing in front of her stall. So maybe next time. And that is it for now. I hope you guys like this haul. I will do better to be a better driver, and we will go from there. I will see you guys next time. Bye.